I'll do the first one.
Did you drop the articles in REKT podcast?
No, our personal one. Sorry.
No, I think you dropped them.
Oh, no, I did drop them in REKT
That's
podcast.
Okay.
Fuck, sorry.
That's okay. Now they know what we're going to talk about. Let them in behind the curtain.
I'll delete them. Hello and welcome to REKT Podcast. I am Bunchu alongside my esteemed colleague and co-host Chamber. Chamber, how you doing, buddy?
Pretty good, man. You know, I think I might be coming down with something. I feel like shit today. I don't know. I don't know if I didn't get enough sleep and just have it feels like I didn't get enough sleep, but I think I did.
You might be on day 2 of your Lakers hangover.
Buddy, I was pumped. So like that night, I only got like 2 hours of sleep. But last night I got like a good 7 hours of sleep, and I feel like I didn't sleep at all, and I feel like I got a ton of allergies. So I don't know if I'm sick or I'm tired and have allergies, and I don't know what it is.
It could be both, which just is not good for anybody.
No.
Tell us about your Lakers experience, though. I mean, why did you only sleep for 2 hours?
There was a game. So the NBA implemented a new play-in series to start the playoffs. So just to kind of, for people that don't understand the NBA, normally, just like most sports, if you're ranked 1 through 8, you get to make the playoffs. 8, 1 plays 8, 2 plays 7, so on and so forth. But what we were seeing over the past decade is a lot of people on the bottom end of that would tank their season. So once they knew they didn't have a chance for the playoffs, they'd pull all their good guys and just play like shit and hopefully get a number 1 overall pick, which made complete sense. And I agree with tanking. But what the NBA did to try to kind of overcome that issue is implement this play-in series where teams that were in the 9th and 10th spot got a chance to make the playoffs. So 9 and 10 play each other. 7 and 8 play each other. Whoever loses 9 and 10 is out. The winner plays the loser of 7 and 8 for a chance to make the 8th spot. The Lakers, due to significant injuries to LeBron James and Anthony Davis, found themselves in the 7th spot. And they found themselves in the 7th spot. The 8th spot was Golden State, who is run by Steph Curry. And they have been on a mission over the last 20 games. So I was super scared. The team that they put out on for that game had only played with each other 3 games. Wow. Their record, the starters' record together was 2-1. And I almost had a heart attack at that point. So the game started off very poorly. At halftime, I think we were down by 13 points, which was not fun. Didn't look like we were going to put the ball in the basket at all. It ended up turning out to be one of the greatest Laker games, like a classic. It was a classic game. LeBron James ends up sinking a 35-foot three-pointer to put them up by 3 with like 30 seconds left.
Blind,
no eyes. He couldn't see.
What a joke. Get out of here with that crap.
I didn't realize, first of all, I did not realize you were a LeBron hater.
I'm not specifically, except for when he pulls shit like that. Like, get over it. You got poked in the eye an hour ago. Like, don't act like you like you couldn't see the basket. Like, it's just, that's what LeBron does that pisses me off so much. It's like,
so there's
just not enough for him to be the greatest basketball player. He's got to be the greatest basketball player with his hands and feet tied behind his back, and he's complaining that he can't see. He says he's shot at 3 rims. Like, get out of here.
He literally quoted Rocky. Says, I see 3 of them. Hit the one in the middle. Which I thought was funny. But I do think that should have been a flagrant foul on who, I'm just can't think of his name now. Anyways, the forward for Golden State, he literally just smashed him in the face. and anything at the head should be a flagrant foul, which it wasn't called. But whatever. The game, we won the game. I was doing my best impression of Alex Caruso on the court in my living room, doing defensive slides from one side of the room to the other, bending my knees. I was in perfect form. But yeah, my body was literally sore the next day from jumping around and acting a fool. So no, I was pumped. It was a super good game. Made some new friends from our other show, The Mint Condition. We had Preston Johnson on, who is like an ESPN old ESPN guy. He's doing some cool NFT stuff, but he turns out to be also a big Laker fan. So I'm messaging with him most of the game. It was a good time.
Really? Slid into those DMs?
No, we're just kind of public tweeting each other.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
But yeah, it was a good time.
Way to bury the lead. It's just we're really great at that. It seems I said this last week. It seems like every Friday we are at one extreme of the market or the other, right? Like this is 3 weeks in a row. The 3 weeks ago we were down a ton. Last week we were up and feeling good. And this week has been turmoil.
Painful. Max pain.
I mean, look, we've got to give a little credit where credit was due. I asked you how you were feeling about the market last week, and you said you were nervous. I told you what the Bitcoin dominance was, and we just went through what current prices were and all of that, and you were nervous, and you kind of called it. You didn't really say, "Oh yeah, this is it, we're going down."
Yeah, I didn't say we're going to zero.
No, but you kind of said, "Hey, I'm not feeling as excited as I should."
When you brought up the over $2 trillion market cap and the dominance of Bitcoin, I didn't realize where they were at the time, and it was definitely worrisome.
Okay, so here's where we are now. We are at $1.6 trillion. So
much healthier.
We are at $1.6 trillion market cap.
Okay.
Bitcoin itself is at a 696 million. 696 billion. We have Bitcoin dominance at, would you like to guess?
So it was 39 last week? 37?
Yeah,
something like that.
Down there, yeah.
43.
41.6.
All right. Okay. Better.
Yes, and so that's where we are going into today's episode. Let's check on the top 10. Last week, we were way up in the sky. We are still up in the 50s. This week, not so much. We are looking at a current price of Bitcoin, $37,210, a 7-day minus 25.3% on the 7 days. ETH, same deal, much worse. $2,475.37, 34% down this week. Then we've got Binance down 40%. We got Cardano down 19%. XRP down 23%. Dogecoin down 27% at number 7.
What was 40%? What was 40% down?
BNB.
Ooh, I heard some shenanigans happening with BNB. You heard this?
I've heard shenanigans happening with BSC.
That's what I mean specifically. Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah,
all kinds of exploits.
I don't know.
Rug pulls.
Yeah, I mean
something about bunnies. Who knows? I don't know.
I don't know enough about it, but they always seem scammy to me. And I know.
Yeah, you played over there. Look, you are not afraid to go play in the mud, and you went over there for what, a week, and we're like, nah,
a weekend. A weekend.
Like, yeah, this ain't for me.
That's a little. The mud was a little too dirty.
Polkadot at number 8 at minus 39%, and then something else here at number 10 that I have never heard of. I don't know where it came from. It has never been in the top 10 as far as I know. It is down 51% this week. It might be a rebrand if it was down 51% and it's still in the top 10. Internet Computer, ICP.
Oh, that's Insane Clown Posse's coin, I think.
Right, yeah. Yeah, the ticker is hashtag Violent J.
I don't know. I don't know if that's a rebrand. I've never heard of it myself either. But again, we're not very smart when it comes to these things. We know some things, but
like you would figure
a top 10.
Yeah,
what's it called? Let me pull this up here.
Internet Computer, ICP.
Computer, crypto. What is this all about? Internet Computer, $15 billion aims to remake the web. Out of nowhere?
All-time high, May 10th, $700.
We really have our fingers on the pulse of crypto, as you can absolutely
All-time low, May 19th, 2 days ago. Okay. I just don't...
It's on Coinbase.
It's on Coinbase? Oh my God, I feel stupid for not knowing what
right?
this is. It's on Binance. It's on Huobi. I don't know what it is, but I've never seen it in the top 10 either way. So that's the moral of this story.
Oh, it's Definity's new ICP token. Definity.
Okay,
that's what it is.
There we go. Now that
listed 24 hours ago. Okay.
Okay. I don't feel as bad now.
Something's happening. We'll have more news on ICP, Insane Clown Posse token next week. We'll do a little bit more research on it.
Yeah. So, but pretty painful week. So I ask you the same question I ask you every week. How are you feeling?
The amount, I don't know about everybody else, but assuming if you've been listening to us for a while, you're probably up over the last few years. Like if you've been listening to us since 2018, you're probably up overall. The amount of money you lost on, what was it, Wednesday? I don't know. Yeah, Wednesday. Was probably the most money you lost in your life, at least on paper. It was painful. I was having little heart murmurs, I think, as it was going down. And you look at your overall...
So was it really like that bad for you? Because I feel like you've, that you're seasoned to this. Like it's you've been here before. You've seen these kind of things before. Is it because like the percentages, I don't think were anything that if you've been around since 2017 that you're not used to seeing, right? Like 30% you've seen before, 40% down you've seen before.
This was 50, I think, at one point, wasn't it?
Yeah. I'm sure. And there's plenty of stuff there's plenty of stuff still down that much over the week.
Right. Yeah. Like I'm saying Max Payne was maybe 50. You know what I mean? Even though it's not there now. Like we touched
Shiba Inu down 61.7%.
That's a scammy though. So, but I mean, we touched 30K. That's what, that's what 30K. That's crazy. It was. I think it was just unexpected. Last year in March, we had Black Monday or whatever it was. Where
it was a Thursday, but
it was Black Thursday.
Yeah.
I mean, it was almost the same thing, right? Like percentage wise.
Oh yeah, I mean,
or maybe more.
Bitcoin was at like 6K, and then it went down to like 3,100. Yeah.
Right.
So that's what I mean. But like, so percentage wise, we've seen this before.
Right, but that was a really like the Black Thursday.
Right. That was Black Swan event type of stuff.
That was exactly, but also not that we were expecting it, but like there was a lot of uncertainty in all markets.
Yes.
This one was more unexpected. At least the degree, the severity of the dip. Do you know what I mean? At least that for me it was. Like I didn't expect a 50% haircut.
I mean, there was a lot of
in one day.
There was a lot of media type catalysts. Like last week, we talked about all the Elon stuff. There was China FUD that comes around every once in a while. So like there was a lot of these quote unquote catalysts that drove potential prices down. But I don't know. I didn't feel much. Like,
I'll tell you the only difference.
Look,
is
I bought. That's
what you're supposed to do.
I bought. I had
didn't.
some cash sitting around, and you've heard me whine and complain that I've misplayed some of this bull run in the past. So I had to put my money where my mouth is this time. So I think I bought a chunk of Bitcoin at 32 when it was like coming back up. Right? When
yeah,
it was,
man.
Starting to come back up. So I bought at 32. So already looking like a decent buy.
Absolutely.
I don't see a ton more downside from here, from where we were, right? Like,
and I think that's what makes me nervous was the severity was so unexpected. I agree with you that I think it's all done, but like now I just feel a little bit shook. Like, could there be more? Because the first one was so unexpected, could there be more unexpected downside?
I'm sure there could. But again, this kind of goes right back to what we talked about last week is like, where is max pain? Like, where is that 70% down? And we said, what is, around 20K, 20, 30K?
Well,
Bitcoin,
max.
Right?
Yeah, I think we said 30K had a lot of support, which it did. And, it proved to be true. And then max pain would be 20K, I think.
Yeah, and
I hope that's not the case, but
well, it's funny. The top was in when we were both talking last week about how many Ethereum we could use per month to pay our bills.
Yeah, I'm so glad I cashed out a couple of Ethereum the other day.
We were like, hey, you only need 2 Ethereum to pay for 2 months of bills.
now you need 2 Ethereum for 1 month's bills.
Yes,
I think.
Exactly. So I think that was a top signal for us, right? The sign that we needed a cool down. But
I was very happy. I always get nervous when I cash out a little bit.
You made the right play there.
That was good. Solid. It made me happy. So
that's where we are. I personally think we're probably, through the worst of it. I would say, like, we saw Ethereum on some exchanges hit like 1,700. Right. Wow. I don't see it going much further down than that. Like,
I'm just looking
but again,
at the charts
you have to keep this all in perspective. A month ago, this is where we were. Like, on Ethereum, right? Like, this is where we were a month ago.
Exactly.
And so, the people really feeling pain are the ones that, again, I'll say this again, I say it every time, are over leveraged, right? If you're sitting in spot that you bought 2 months ago, 3 months ago, you're not that phased. Yeah, you lost a chunk of all your unrealized gains, but like, you're not wrecked.
No.
The people that are wrecked are the people that were using leverage that have been liquidated. And then the same people who bought the dip with leverage are probably not safe. Those people are not safe, right? Like,
no.
If you're, at this point, 1% move is $320 or $372,
That's
right?
Crazy.
So, like, if you're going with 100x leverage on a dip buy, not the smartest move. So again, I feel like I've said that every fucking week for the past 2 months, right? Like,
yep.
So I don't know, but that's how I feel. I bought, so I have the hashtag diamond hands.
Diamond hands. I just love the fact that what's his name, Barstool guy.
He comes in, buys, and then he
just the next day, gets just brutalized.
It's fantastic. And the people that are also probably hurting are anybody that's new to crypto in this last year. In 2021, maybe they came in from Top Shot and started dabbling in crypto. Those people are probably down a significant amount.
Or
potentially.
TikTok.
Or TikTok. Those people are probably down a significant amount, which is unfortunate. But you will look. We've talked before. We both stand strong that we think 100K is inevitable, 150K is inevitable for Bitcoin. So, 5,000 is inevitable for Ethereum. So it's just be patient. Yeah. Be patient.
I think,
don't panic.
I would probably say that you're right, that the worst is over for this downside. we have a little bit to catch. I mean, to get back to all-time highs.
Well, that was what was my next question to you is what's next? We're not going straight to 70K like you said, like you thought a couple of weeks ago, right? Like
right. We did hit 65 though, for the record.
Yes, correct. So yeah, pretty darn good. But your sell orders at 70K didn't hit.
They did not.
but the
69.9.
You know, an all-time high now isn't.
It's pretty far away.
Doesn't necessarily mean that's happening next week or next month. Like
that's a $30,000 move.
We can sit here and chop for a long time, and that's okay also, right? So I mean, that's okay because it gives you an opportunity to look. It was up only for a long time. So like if you missed any of it and you were on the sidelines and you know it's a bad idea to buy Ethereum at 4100, like you've now got another shot here on a lot of these things, right? Like
right. It was up only from, I would say, October 2020. I'm just looking at the chart here. October 2020 all the way to 65, which was April 15th.
Yeah. So like you've got another shot here for decent entries, right? Anybody who's been getting in recently.
We lost a lot of people though, I want to say. I think we lost a lot of people.
I'm sure we did. But
not the people we wanted. So
well,
the people we want are still kicking around.
You know, what is did we lose them and you know, or are we just baptizing the new class, right? Like this is what happened to us in 2018, right? Like we jumped in and Bitcoin was up at you know.
But how many people did we lose in 2017, 2018?
Well, I mean, look, I think what have you learned in that time, right?
Lots. Lots.
Okay, and part of it is I think one of the biggest things that I've learned is one, conviction, and two, patience. And if you don't have one, you can't have the other, right? It's
right.
Like,
that's a good point.
If you don't have conviction, you can't have patience, right? Like, and I think that's going to be a big problem for people. I think you see that same thing with NFTs, right? Like, you need to have conviction because it's not always the most liquid thing. It's not always something that you can flip the next day. But yeah, without one, you can't have the other. And those are probably the biggest things that I learned in the 2017 or 2018 time, right? And if I had more conviction, I'd be sitting here a little more wealthy than I am today. But I ain't missing again. I'm not missing again. You know what I mean? Like we're still higher than we were then, but not as high as we know one day will be, right? So it's like, you know, I'm personally, you know, if you go back through the archives of REKT podcast, there will probably be a 6-month period where I sound like I'm fucking done with crypto.
For the record, there is 100% that 6-month period.
You know what I mean? And so like, and I don't think I'm going to get that way again. Like, I don't think that's going to happen to me because of these lessons that I've learned. So, I mean, what do you think? What are your key takeaways for somebody who might be new this year or might be hurting after this week?
Yeah, I mean, to anybody that's new, I mean, I lost 50% of what I put in when I got in. You learn and I mean, we've said it before, if you stay in the space and you're not just a complete, absolute idiot, you know what I mean? You're probably going to make some money. So yeah, you probably lost. If you're down 30, 40, 50% of the money you put in at the beginning of the year, yeah, it's shitty, but hang on tight. It's not going to be that bad. Look for the trends, you know, kind of keep an eye out, see who's doing what, see what's being talked about. There's going to be new fun things to get into. You know, when we first got in, it was ICOs, it was, you know, those types of things, a lot of new altcoins, you know, Ethereum displacers, that kind of thing. And then there was new trends along the way that you could have made money in. We got into DeFi, made some money there. Obviously, DeFi is still a thing. I don't think that's going away anytime soon. NFTs kind of have been around that whole time as well, but really has started to peak over the last 6-7 months. So, I mean, just be patient, listen to smart people, and try to catch that, try to catch as much of the next thing as possible. That would be my advice. And don't be shy, like what Bunchu did. Like, he bought at 32. Everybody was scared shitless, including the guy speaking right now. And Bunchu took his balls out, put them on the table, and he said, "Hey, I'm buying at 32K." And you know what? It's been a good move so far.
It's so funny. It's like there are so many times I can remember having not done that, right? Like, where it's everybody screams and yells BTFD, you know what I mean? But it's hard to do.
Yeah.
Right? But like, fundamentally, what changed? Not too much. We got to cool down from where we were. Right. And like I said, if you were pissed that you were missing this run, you got a half reset, right? Like, so you should be looking to buy things that you have these convictions in. Now, that doesn't mean go 100x long. That doesn't mean, because guess what? If it drops to 28 next week, like, again, I didn't buy a whole Bitcoin here, so I bought a couple grand worth of Bitcoin at 32, right? Because that's what I had liquid that I could put in. But so what's funny is that's also probably my highest buy of Bitcoin ever, like bulk buy of Bitcoin ever. So those two things can be true, right? You buy the dip, but you're also buying at a price that you never thought you'd buy at.
Right. And don't be the first, like you were saying, the people that were buying Ethereum at 4,100. Maybe you don't want to be the person that's buying at all-time highs. Don't get too excited about something. And I mean, just speaking for myself, I mean, there are things that I've purchased that were going on an uptrend that everybody was talking about, and I aped in, and I FOMO'd in, and I could have purchased at a much lower price because the hype cycle was at a premium. And now, like we said a month ago, we were at this point. It's more like February. Yeah. Okay. Mid February.
That's even better.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's even better. Like, anybody that bought after February or that felt like they were missing out can now buy at February prices. You know what I mean? Like, that's much better. So I don't know. It can always get worse, but if you're purchasing at a 30, 40, 50% discount, it can still go another 30, 40, 50%, but at least you're not buying at an all-time high.
I was going to say, it could, and I think this, I had confidence in buying Bitcoin at that and pushing my chips in on Bitcoin. I don't know if I would have had the same confidence on, some of these lower cap shit coins. You know what I mean? Like, because we've seen that, they get wrecked on the way down, and they'll also get wrecked on the way up for Bitcoin. For Bitcoin, right?
Yeah, so for sure.
Be much more careful with projects like that, right? But I think if you're talking top 10 stuff, like big caps, you have less to worry about from that perspective.
And buy the bloodiest stuff too. Like, I mean, I don't know if necessarily buying, I forget which one was 40%.
BNB.
Maybe that's not a bad one to buy a 40% discount. Like, that's a nice, I mean, as much as I'm not the biggest fan of Binance and BNB.
How about Polkadot at 39%?
That's what I'm saying. Like, that sounds like a good buy. Like, that's...
Hey, look, you can buy Internet Computer at 51% discount right now.
That seems rough. I don't know about that one. But I don't know. Maybe that is a good one.
How about this one? Uniswap, down 41% this week.
That, to me, is a nice one.
That's a no-brainer buy.
That's a nice buy.
Like, that is a no-brainer buy. That will be, again, a top 10 coin. Right now it's sitting at 13, right? So Meanwhile, how about this for you? Solana only down 6.3% for the week.
Boy, that's a nice one.
Yeah. Or how about this one? Matic or Polygon up 50% in the 7
I don't want to talk about it. I think I don't know if I said it on the show, but I definitely said out loud to people that we should be buying Matic.
Oh, yeah.
And I never did.
Yeah. I did the exact same thing. Same thing.
It's very upsetting.
Yes, it is. But anyway, okay, that is our long-winded comforting, I think.
Yeah, that's what we want to do. We want to comfort the people.
Reassuring, yes. So if you got wrecked this week...
especially if you're a new listener and you got wrecked, that's tough.
We've been there and we feel your pain. But the sun will shine again upon your glorious crypto holdings.
Upon your hairy shoulders.
I was gonna go there and I changed direction. That's funny. Okay, we do have a couple news stories today, so let's get to the news. All right, I've got the first one here. So look, here's a silver lining.
I like those.
Google search volume for all cryptocurrency topics breaks an all-time high. So the weekly search volume on Google for the topic cryptocurrency has reached its highest level yet, both in the US and worldwide, according to Google Trends. The search volume peaked during the week of May 19th through 15th when the price of Bitcoin was still above $50,000. So we'll see what happens in the next month. But a topic on Google Trends includes related search terms, meaning the volume is more indicative of a wider interest in crypto than just the specific word. In fact, the search volume for the word cryptocurrency is actually lower than it was in 2017, but higher as an overall included if you search related topics. So
I see.
That's interesting if you're thinking about what that could mean for what people are actually interested in.
Hopefully people are searching crypto podcasts. That's
Google Trends Twitter account pointed out that searches for "should I sell my crypto" rose 400% in the US yesterday.
Funny.
That's funny. That is funny. But Google Trends breaking an all-time high. I think it's pretty obvious that we're starting to, creep into mainstream. And I think, love or hate NBA Top Shot, I think you have we have a big reason to thank them for bringing new people in. Like, there's this whole new Top Shot crowd that is just learning about crypto, and not only NFTs, but DeFi and things like that. I'm in a bunch of these Discords where these people's first crypto experience was Dapper, and now they're trying to learn about DeFi and altcoins and Bitcoin and all that stuff. So people are coming in, and I think, again, now's another time to get involved. Thoughts?
This is when you can make your money. These are the times. I'm really interested. Like you said, NBA Top Shot brings in a ton of people. I think we're gonna see that melt from NFT, because NFTs, I would argue, are probably more popular over the last few months than crypto. Would you agree or no?
Yeah, we definitely went through NFT hype cycle.
Like NFT was more like, I'm trying to think, like Doge was very popular with Elon, but I think overall, and I might be wrong, but I think overall the market was hotter on NFTs, and it was more in the zeitgeist than necessarily crypto was. Would you agree there?
Yeah, I think so.
I think because of the relation between NFTs and crypto, you're going to see a lot of that, like you said, people coming over to crypto, looking into Bitcoin. I think
it's funny, like Des from our show Mint Condition, like even he wasn't really well versed in crypto prior, right? Like
I feel he said he was around for a while, but I don't know if he's like involved for that long.
Right, but so I mean, and he's a very knowledgeable guy, is my point, right? So like there's this whole class of people that are coming from that stuff that are getting involved in crypto for the first time. So,
Right.
Deep crypto, like
Exactly. Like our
learning
stuff.
about DeFi, learning about Bitcoin, learning about the 7,000 altcoins that are now on CoinGecko,
and the benefits of decentralized finance and decentralized currencies, because that might not be, because I know for myself that was something that really pulled me in originally.
Are you doing a lot of DeFi right now? Are you
No.
doing a lot of staking? Are you doing any
No,
farming?
none,
Are you
zero,
doing anything?
zero.
Why?
I'll tell you why. Before I was playing with smaller amounts of overall dollars, and I did pretty well on some coins on an exchange, but now I'm at a point without saying too much. I don't know what to like. If I make a trade to move stuff out, like the volume is much higher, and I don't know how that affects reporting to my government for taxes. So I haven't been trading a lot. Like I have my bags. I haven't touched a bag in forever.
Really?
I have Ethereum on the side. But I have a lot. Some of that Ethereum is invested in NFTs.
So this is the first time you have legitimate tax concerns, is what you're saying?
For my alt bags, yes. So Ethereum, I have Ethereum. I haven't really been playing around. Fees have been high for Uniswap, and I'm using a lot of that for NFT stuff, which is tied up, and I'm okay with it being tied up. It's fine just leaving it there. But the other portions of my alt bags are at a point where, it's just like, well, if I sell a full bag or a half a bag, I'm like, oh, okay, what does that mean? Is FTX going to report me to the government of Canada for my taxes? Like,
I see. So it's because it's on an exchange.
Correct.
Is what your concern is. So you're concerned about them reporting it for you.
Correct.
Interesting. So before I let you go, then it just goes perfectly into what my next story is. The president's tax gap proposal.
Which president? The real president or the fake one?
Not your president.
Oh, okay. All right. I just keep hearing that Joe Biden's not the real president.
I see. Well, you might be following the wrong people on Twitter. I don't know. Look,
I'm joking, by the way. For the record, I believe Joe Biden is the real president of the United States.
Yes.
I did, however, see an image of him. I don't know if this was real or not. The other day, I saw it yesterday. It was quite funny. They make fun of him being old and stuff. But he was driving a vehicle.
Well, every president's you got to make fun of him for something.
Something, absolutely, right. Except for Obama. He was very cool. I don't know what people made fun of him about.
More just impressions, I think.
I guess so.
Yeah.
But there was a picture of Joe Biden driving a vehicle, and he's on the steering wheel, and then if you looked carefully, you could see a second steering wheel on the passenger side, like a la driver test.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was real or not, but I thought it was hilariously funny.
That's really funny. Yeah. But the president's tax gap proposal calls for businesses to report crypto transactions above $10,000. So Here you go. This is fucking exactly what you're talking about, right? Mm-hmm. So Joe Biden is giving the IRS additional funding to address the crypto market. He wants the tax regulator to apply some traditional standards to crypto exchanges. So the Treasury released a report very not too long ago detailing tax compliance measures aimed at closing the tax gap, which is essentially just the difference of what's owed versus what's actually paid. And some of those measures are aimed at crypto, including requirements here that exchanges will have to report gross receipts and purchases. So this report apparently calls crypto virtual currencies a significant concern for tax evasion. Specifically because the market grew $2 trillion in the last year. But basically it says that increased number of ways that people are able to hide income is encouraging fewer people to comply with the tax rules. So for that reason, the proposal includes additional resources for the IRS to address crypto reporting, as well as a new regime that will also cover exchanges and custodians. So that would be, like your Coinbase or your Gemini or things like that.
Right.
It calls for businesses receiving crypto to report on transactions larger than $10,000, a standard that already exists for cash transactions. So your concern is probably pretty legitimate, right?
And again, this is all obviously has to do with the United States. I live in Canada, but who's to say those rules won't mirror each other in the near future?
Well, the concerns are probably the same, right? Like,
yeah,
especially for Canada, there's you guys pay a lot of taxes, and why wouldn't they want their cut?
What's your what percentage of tax do you guys pay, like on average, like an average person?
Far too much.
You're too much? I feel like I pay.
Well, I'm too much compared to what I want to pay in taxes. Like, we don't pay as much as you up there. But
what do you think I pay?
I don't know. You guys are basically slaves. I don't know, 51%?
No, like 30% maybe?
51%?
I think I pay 30 or 32%.
No, I think that's kind of around what I pay. I think I'm like 28% or something. I don't know.
Like, you could get free healthcare for that same price up here.
See, there you go.
Bro,
that's it.
I mean,
look, honestly, I might move there because, and here's why. What I hate about the United States is how they, people are like we go back and forth in our REKT podcast chat all the time talking about how, people hate working real jobs and all this stuff. Right. And, part of the reason is because being an entrepreneur or owning your own business is not exactly friendly as it could be in the U.S. Like, if you have to go...
Oh, is it not? I thought it was.
Well, in this sense, with the healthcare, right? Like,
right.
I stay at my job largely because I have insurance, right? If you have to go pay for private insurance in the U.S., it is very, 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 very expensive, right? So, very expensive. So it's an expense that you don't realize that you have if you just quit your job tomorrow and decide you're going to go work for yourself.
My benefits run out at the end of the month for my past job. So benefits, in Canada, it's not like everything's free. So, for example, I have an asthma inhaler. And I think the full list price on it, like if you're paying out of pocket, I think maybe is like, I don't know, say $30. With my benefits, I end up paying like $4 for it.
Right.
So I'm now going to have to pay the $30. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But that being said, like dentists, like I can't, like dentist isn't covered. So that's out of pocket, and a lot of jobs are paying 80 to 90% of that coverage, sometimes 100% of that coverage, depending on your benefits plan through work. So I am actually looking, I haven't received a new employee yet, but I'm looking at topping up, just buying some benefits, some just personal benefits to kind of offset some of those, prescription stuff, dentist stuff, you know what I mean?
Yep.
So it's definitely a cost. Like, it's not everything's free, but like some of the horror stories of people going bankrupt because... Oh, that's what I wanted to ask you. My wife wanted to know how much... I mean, don't feel free not to answer if you don't want to, but you just had a baby.
Yeah.
What are we looking at? Like, you have a job, so you're... Because I always try to convince her to move to the U.S. I like the idea of living in the U.S. Just my people are there, I think.
Oh, come on. Come over.
I'm on board.
Dude,
I've been trying to convince my wife for years.
Literally come live right in my neighborhood. We got 6 golf courses here. We could just be full-time podcasters.
Could you imagine?
Dude.
Oh, it's great.
I mean,
I'm already on board.
We've discussed multiple times about the housing cost difference between here and there, and it's actually cheaper where I live to buy a house the same size as
my neighbor just is selling their house, and it's a shitty little house. I don't live in a huge mansion. I have a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom raised ranch. Like, it's nothing crazy, backyard, no garage, and and the neighbor beside me has a smaller version of my house, and they are selling theirs for like 650 grand.
Dude, come over.
It's
and
crazy.
live here. Yes, I need a neighbor around here. Wait, to just make it happen. I'm gonna start.
It's my wife.
Spamming. I'm gonna start spamming your wife's Twitter with listings in my area.
We need to convince my wife. So she thinks that even if I have a job over there, she thinks that we're just going to go bankrupt because somebody's going to get sick and we don't have health insurance and we're just all going to, be broke. So you have a job similar to probably something I would have if I worked over there.
Correct.
So I want to know the baby thing. She wanted to know how much including your work benefits, how much out of pocket.
I have kind of shitty work.
If you want it, don't feel free not to answer if you don't want to.
No, I have kind of shitty work benefits. Like my company doesn't have the greatest plan, but it cost me I think $2,500 out of pocket.
That's not awful.
No, and
that's not that bad.
I just put it on a payment plan. I'm just like, all right, I'll pay you.
That's much better than I thought it was going to be.
I'll pay you X amount a month and that's how you'll get paid for me. So like, it's not if you couldn't pay, or like it's not the
it cost me it benefits from my work when we had both of our kids. Basically, the only thing it gave us for the pregnancy was. Obviously, any sort of prescriptions we have, it doesn't cost us much of anything. But we got upgrades to like private rooms and stuff like that. But if you're like a regular person, if you're working at McDonald's and have it does not cost you a penny to have a baby. You might have like a roommate, you know what I mean, in your room, but that's about it.
Interesting. But yeah. I mean, I don't think that's that terrible. Like if you,
as
far as what it could, it's not like a $45,000.
But I still have to pay through the nose at the dentist, like for braces and stuff like that.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Same here.
That's interesting. And the other thing I heard, I don't know if this was true. If you're applying for a job in the U.S., do you have to put your race down?
You don't have to. It's like...
But do they ask you?
Yeah, they'll ask you.
So strange.
It's for like diversity purposes, like inclusion.
Is it though?
Oh yeah, I think it's the opposite of what you're thinking. It's that you have a better chance to get hired if you're not white.
Yeah, that does not come up, and then
it's the Rooney Rule.
Really, that's interesting.
Yeah.
That's interesting. So it's the opposite of what I think.
Yeah, it's for because the companies want to hire diverse. They kind of have to.
I mean, the last company I worked for was very blanco. But that's interesting. Okay, so all right, that's I liked learning because we're so similar yet so different in some aspects. Canada and the U.S.
I can't wait till you live next door.
We just got to convince Amber. That's it. That's all we got to do.
I'm gonna make her I'm gonna hire somebody on Upwork to produce an America trailer, a USA trailer, and we're gonna send it to her, and she's gonna be blown away by the production quality, and she's gonna want to move here just on the trailer alone. Forget about season 1 and 2. She'll be blown away.
That's awesome. All right. Do you want me to get into my last news story here before we wrap it up?
Yeah, and then I have one other thing I want to cover. Yeah.
All right. I also have a TV show that I want to talk about that I want your feedback on at the end. So remind me.
America, the TV show.
Yeah. That's right. Coming to America, featuring me, part 3. So FTX, we were talking about it earlier. FTX is set to raise up to $1 billion at a $20 billion valuation per sources. And this is from the block crypto. Crypto exchange FTX is in the process of closing and a funding round said to value the company at around $20 billion. 3 sources familiar with the situation told the block. It's not clear who is leading the round at this stage. A source familiar with the raise, which could be announced as soon as next month, said it could bring anywhere from $400 million to $1 billion. The source added that fresh capital injection would go towards improving its relationships with large financial service firms and broaden the reach of crypto-native market participants. Last year, FTX made $85 million in fee revenue in 2020.
Holy cow.
Yeah, no freaking kidding. And CEO...
What were you, like 2 or 3 million of that?
I paid my share. 2020, CEO Sam Bankman-Fried told Sammy, to those that know him well, told the blog, adding that for 2021 the exchange expects to make $400 million in fees. In fee revenue. Yeah,
Jeez.
It's crazy.
Wow.
And the fee percentage is pretty decent too, so it's like not even that bad. And shout out to FTX, by the way. All the other exchanges were shut down on Wednesday. FTX was running like a dream, and that has been consistently the case at every big dip. Coinbase shuts down, Binance had issues, Kraken had issues. FTX consistently is up and running when you need it to. The times where you want to sell or buy, and those extremes, they're always running. Like how they are proving time and time again that they are the spot to be. And for the record, we were talking about $10,000 reports to the IRS. The maximum fee withdrawal, or the maximum dollar withdrawal, daily withdrawal on FTX is $9,000. So Sam's already taken care of it.
That's awesome.
Are you kidding me right now? Like and this has been the case for a long time. So I don't know. FTX. Just use it. I haven't even used my ref link yet, but people should use it. I'm gonna post it later today. FTX funding round, once completed, will join a growing list of big ticket capital raises for 2021. These include Paxos $300 million Series D funding round in April and BlockFi's $350 million round in March. Both raises gave these firms valuations above $1 billion.
Jeez.
Yeah, crazy stuff, eh?
So FTX, place to be. They're
FTX. They were. I saw
pioneering.
I saw them advertised at the Miami game the other day. Like they are. Yeah, it's crazy. FTX, man. They don't have a. That is, I'm telling you, man. He's the one that's the least shady out of all these MFs.
I think I would agree with that. Right?
Like it's just. I don't know. It just makes me. I don't feel nervous being on FTX.
Yeah, I think that's for real.
You got one more?
No, that is going to do it for us for the news. The one other topic I wanted to cover was a chamber tweet.
Oh, no.
So
what have I done?
We're going to play Defend That Tweet.
The defense is not back, Mom.
Hey, let's get our energy going at the defensive end. Keep playing defense.
Not even really something that you need to defend here, but 16 hours ago, you posted with 5 likes and 5 comments. So a really banner tweet from
real hot one.
Yeah. I just realized if I could be anything, I would be a professional wrestler. I don't know. I didn't know that about myself. So we need to cover this because I have some thoughts.
So my daughter asked me, I don't know, it was the end of the night. There's a show on Netflix called, I think it's Netflix, called The Big Show.
Called My Dad's a Professional Wrestler.
It's you know The Big Show?
Yeah, like
the wrestler.
Oh, it's The Big Show.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly. So he has a TV show that my daughter watches, and over the pandemic, I've been watching a lot of wrestling content for whatever reason. I'm not a wrestling.
That's like this is kind of shocking to me. You don't seem like you would be into wrestling.
I'm not like I was when I was a kid, like WWF.
Yeah, me too. When I was a kid, it was 100%. The best thing ever.
But even as a kid, wrestler wasn't at the top of my list. Like I wanted to be I wanted to be a ninja or like a paleontologist. You know what I mean? I wanted to dig up dinosaur bones. Like that's what I wanted to be.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Paleontologist?
Basically, yeah. Something like that. Those were the 2 things I wanted to be. So even when I was a kid, loving, The Ultimate Warrior.
So like Michelangelo or Ross from Friends. Those are very different places on the spectrum of interesting.
So my daughter asked me, she's like, would you like to be a wrestler? And I thought about it. I'm like, I would absolutely love to be a wrestler. And I started thinking, I'm like, if I had all the money in the world, didn't need to work, and I could just pick any career, I'm like, I think I would be a wrestler. Like it's so much fun. Like you just jack yourself up. Like I'm a big dude, so like, you know, as Mac would say, I've
cultivated some mass.
I've cultivated mass. Like I could theoretically be a wrestler type. I'm not anywhere close to it, but you know, I could technically maybe.
Yeah, you have the frame.
Correct.
And look, not every wrestler is like the most jacked dude ever. Either. Right. There's plenty of space for your body type in the WWE.
That's what I'm saying. And yeah, there's a wide range of body types.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
So I think, it just sounds like fun. And the more content, for the record, if you haven't watched it, I think it's on. I don't know if in the States, I think it's on Hulu. In Canada, we have it on Crave, but it's called Dark Side of the Ring. And it's all these like crazy wrestling stories from, you know, different decades. Yeah. And it's super fascinating. So over the pandemic, I started watching those a lot with my wife. And they're great stories. So if you haven't watched it, Dark Side of the Ring. But so I've been watching that a lot. And then now watching like old Royal Rumbles and like, it's very, I don't know. I like the whole aspect of it. They had Ultimate Warrior. Undertaker retired this year.
For the eighth time.
I don't think he's coming back. But I mean, that guy was around forever, and hearing his crazy stories, like I think like an Undertaker type.
Yeah, I would see. So my follow-up questions here are, do you have a persona name?
No, I don't.
And then my other question would be, like, if you don't have a persona name, you won't have this. But would you have a preferred finishing maneuver?
Yeah. See, like, man, that tombstone. When the tombstone came out originally, that was insane to me. That was it was a fresh move. I like The Rock. I kind of left wrestling maybe just as The Rock got there. So I didn't get the full Rock phenomenon.
So you missed the most electrifying man in sports entertainment.
But I love The Rock now. So that's I think best case scenario, I look like The Rock. You know what I mean?
And you would. I think it's pretty obvious. You would be a heel, right?
I would love to be the heel.
You would. I think that's a no-brainer. You would be the heel. Yeah.
So I guess The Rock kind of flip-flop between heel and pretty boy. Yes, what do they call it?
Sure.
Babyface.
Yeah, right. I think it's pretty boy, actually.
Yeah. So I think he flip-flopped like Stone Cold. Like I think he flip-flopped as well. But I feel like they're about my height, and I feel like, again, if I had nothing but time on my hands and all the training and stuff, I'm like, that's the size I feel like I could get. Maybe not The Rock. Man, The Rock's huge.
So the reason I wanted to talk about this was because I also, when I was a kid, wanted to be a professional wrestler. So much so that like me and my buddies would make wrestling videos. And
really?
Oh yeah, we were so into it. This is like 8th grade. So like,
okay, so like I probably left at like the 6th grade.
Okay, so this is like 8th grade, 7th, 8th grade for us, right? And, I actually had a persona, and really? I had a name for my finishing move.
Oh, my goodness. Well, I need to know.
My persona name was The Outcast.
I love it.
My finishing move was it was a variation on the rock bottom, so like you were talking about. Yeah. And it was called the Singled Out.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Now who do you kind of see? Like, are you like a Bret the Hitman Hart?
My favorites were always the high flying, like the Hardy Boys type of
Hardy Boys are awesome. Like, I don't know if you remember, like maybe this was just before that time, but like the Rockers with like Marty Jannetty and Shawn Michaels.
That's a little earlier than
Shawn Michaels. Like, obviously you know Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels had a tag team before he was Shawn Michaels, and it was the Rockers. And these guys, go on YouTube, man. These guys were the best high flyers. Like, they're so good. But Hardy Boys, I agree. Or not Hardy Boys. Do you remember the Nasty Boys?
Oh yeah, remember them too.
Nasty Boys were good. I like a good. I also like a good tag team. So
My
maybe
favorite
that-
tag team ever was The Rock and Mankind.
Really? I didn't know that was a tag team.
The Rock and Sock Connection.
Was the Undertaker were the Undertaker and Kane a tag team at some
they
point?
were, yep.
I feel like that would have been a good one.
Yep.
But my favorite tag team would have been Legion of Doom.
Oh,
Or the Bushwhackers back in the day.
yeah. So you've got a couple years on me. So those guys
I was
are a little bit.
I was
older.
young though too. Like I was also really young. Like I was probably like
Yeah.
5, 6 when I started watching wrestling.
Yeah.
In like the late 80s.
My parents actually took me and my buddies to a Monday Night Raw event. Once.
Really?
And I don't think they were anticipating what they got themselves into. We, as 7th, 8th grade boys, saw so many tits that night. It was
What, people just flashing?
Yep, people just
Really?
flashing. Yep,
That's fantastic.
yep. It was something else.
Unanticipated boobs as a kid was like
Yeah, it was just
The best.
tops. But anyway, I think that's gonna do it for us.
I have one last question. This is just I want to get your gauge on a show that I've restarted. So we were looking for. My wife likes to watch stuff that's funny. We've watched all of the the Offices and It's Always Sunny's and everything ad nauseum. And there was a show we had watched once, and I thought it was funny. I see a lot of memes based on the show. And I said, we got to start watching this one over again. And I don't feel it gets the love it deserves. And I do feel it's a top tier show. And I want to get your feedback on it. It's The New Girl.
Oh my! I've
What's your
watched.
thoughts?
I've watched most of New Girl. I think it's pretty good. My wife watches a lot of New Girl. Like that's the show. That's the show she'll watch like when I'm out of town or something to like just as her like background show.
I would argue that it's the problem with New Girl is the fact that it's called New Girl, and I feel that alienates a lot of guys.
Oh, I think it's a pretty hilarious show.
It is
the one episode where they play that game. I forget what the hell it's called. Presidents or something or is that what it's called?
I forget.
Oh man, that's an all-time episode where they.
I don't know. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I watched
it's New
it once.
Girl's version of Charlie McDennis. So.
Well, that's what I'm getting from it. It is it's not It's Always Sunny, but it's a nice. If you like Sunny, it's an acceptable replacement if you've kind of
it's
watched
like
all of them.
Family-friendly version of that.
A little bit more, yeah. It's not as degenerate.
No, I would recommend that show. That's a good show.
I think it's very good, but I feel it deserves a rebrand. I feel New Girl is a bad name for it because I think it alienates too much of the viewership, and it's really about the 3 guy roommates and not the main girl. In my
It should be called Zooey Desh Channel Has an Apartment.
Correct. The B in apartment 23.
Yeah, that's right. Was she in that too?
No, it's very blurry to me. I feel like it's the same show. But I watched like 4 episodes yesterday, and I'm like, this is a great show. And it doesn't get the love it deserves, I feel.
I would agree. Good show. So watch New Girl if you haven't. That is going to wrap it up for us. We got a little off the rails with at the end, but
I love
that's what we do. So anything else? I think as a bit of what we're going to be doing going forward, we were talking about doing some Twitter spaces every once in a while, just shooting the shit, chatting crypto. So you might see that coming from us. We're actually thinking about putting, out some articles on the website as a blog. So if you are interested in writing some crypto articles potentially, hit us up and we would be happy to discuss that with you because that's something we're thinking about adding to our website. We haven't said it a lot in the recently, but please subscribe, give us that 5-star review. Really goes a long way. Chamber, what else before we get out of here?
I think you hit it on the head. We just give us 5-star reviews. I forget if it's in the outro because there's an outro part. I forget what I say in it. So if it doesn't say 5-star reviews, I'll make sure we add it. Let us know. You can reach out to us on Twitter if you have any thoughts for the show, any thoughts for any sort of blog posts. You can DM us on Twitter. You can reach out to us in our Telegram. You can email us directly on rektpodcast.com. Go check it out. We actually think it's a pretty decent website. If you haven't yet, take a peek at it. We created it ourselves with the help of one of our crypto friends. But that's the spot where those blog posts are probably going to appear. So take a look at it, and if you have any questions, you can DM us in many ways. But check out rektpodcast.com, and that will point you in the right direction.
That is going to do it for us, for my esteemed colleague Chamber and myself. Don't get wrecked, and that is financial advice.
Hey everybody, thanks for listening. You can help support us by giving us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and become a REKT patron by signing up for a monthly tier on patreon.com. That's patreon.com/REKT podcast. Don't get wrecked.